And as we finish, Africa Data Center is looking to expand their data infrastructure from 4.5 megawatts to 15 megawatts loads. This in a bid to improve data within the region and maintain standards, demanded by today's leading cloud providers, carriers and enterprises. Our reporter Jimmy Mbogo attended this particular launch, and Jimmy will close for us the show. Good afternoon, Jimmy.
Well, indeed, a very good afternoon to you, True Noah. Yes, as you rightfully said, today we are talking everything tech, everything data, and that is the reason we're here at the Samia Business Park that is along Mombasa Road. And this is where the groundbreaking was happening, where Africa Data Center was breaking ground for its expansion project that is going to increase their current megawatts of IT load from the about 4.5 to about 15%. And I will be joined by the CEO, that is Tesh, to be able to explain to us what are the implications of this, what are the costs, which is the most important thing, because we have to talk business. So Tesh, thank you so much for speaking to KTN. First things first, what is the cost implications of this project?
Well, a data center project can be anywhere from $15 to $200 million, depending on the capacity. We're going to start off here with roughly $20 to $25 million of investment. That's going to get us our first 5 megawatts of capacity here. We'll build a shell, and then we'll be able to add more capacity as it goes on. Then we also have adjacent land. So if the demand keeps coming, the cloud providers keep coming, the African businesses keep getting digitized, then we'll continue to add more capacity here. This campus we can grow this campus 2 to 3x larger than its current capacity. So we can go from anywhere from 5 to 10 megawatts to up to 30 megawatts.
All right, we've seen a lot of data centers popping up all across Africa, from Nigeria to South Africa. What is leading this? What is the cause of this, and what market is driving these expansions?
Sure. So when you think about the African continent, you've got 1.3 to 1.4 billion people, and you've got 300 to 350 million people between the age of 18 and 35. That group, I call it the restless youth of Africa. They want to stay in Africa. They're highly educated, and they're trying to bring all sorts of digital communication services, e-payments, electronic banking to the African subcontinent. Let all Africans participate in the digital economy. That's why this investment keeps happening, and that's why the Western world, Western capital, is looking at putting money into Africa.
All right, we're talking about Africa Data Center being one of the cloud-neutral centers in Africa. Yes. What does that mean for someone who's not a techie?
Sure. Yeah. So being a neutral provider means that you allow multiple carriers to come in. So we have Liquid as one preferred carrier. MTN is a preferred carrier. We have multiple carriers coming in, as even Western carriers, European carriers. That's what it means to be carrier neutral. That means our customers have the opportunity to choose any provider they want. They can build the best solution for themselves.
All right, let's talk revenues.
Sure.
And I'm sure this is something that your customers and potential customers would want to know. What would it mean for me now to have my data stored at Africa Data Center? And also, what are the costs of this?
So we're happy to provide a proposal to anyone who wants one. You can call Dan Quach, who is our regional executive here. We don't publish our pricing. It's pricing for each individual client. Every client is different. Every client has unique applications. Some clients take 1 rack of space. Some clients take 1 megawatt of space, which is 250 racks. So it all depends on the client.
All right, let's talk now. When you look at the Kenyan ecosystem and the Kenyan economy and the setup that is the way it's currently set up.
Sure.
What are some of the drivers that you think are leading people to want to do things digitally? And has the digital transformation fully happened, or there's still room for that to happen?
Oh, I would say we're still early on in the transformation, early in the cycle. There is so much investment going on in Africa and in Kenya specifically. The things that make it attractive, you just see it, right? You come off the airport, you've got good infrastructure. You can drive somewhere. You heard in our earlier speech that that road that didn't exist 10 years ago now does. You can now get, downtown very quickly. the Kenyan shilling is a stable currency. We have an educated population base. These are the things that are going to drive the digital transformation. The investment is coming. I think it's in the early phases. I'd say, to use an American baseball analogy, the first inning. To use a cricket analogy, we have only started to the first over, okay? I think we've got a long way to go here. You still think about what the average African has to deal with in terms of connectivity. High speeds still are not there. Being able to download every type of media that you want, whether it be music or video, these are the things that are going to be coming, and they're going to be coming fast.
All right, lastly, Tesh, before I let you go, there's also the question of what sectors are you targeting? Because there are different sectors. When you look at the financial sector, for instance, this is an area that has a lot of data going on. When you look at the transport sector, again, another sector that has massive amounts of data. So what are some of your biggest customers in the Kenyan market, and which ones are you targeting in 2023 going forward?
So we're obviously targeting, our biggest customers are usually cloud and IT customers. Around 50% of our revenue comes from IT service providers. The next is financial services, mining, energy, agriculture, and then government services. And so we look at all 4 or 5 of those industries as the ones that we'll continue to target. And we see growth in all of them. It's going to be a tough year. Global recessionary concerns are happening. But I think that with our hard work and the motivation that we see here in Kenya, I think we'll be fine.
All right, Tesh, lastly, again, I know I said lastly, but one final question. One final question from me is, we can talk about data without talking about the issues to do with security of this data.
Sure.
Maybe you can just talk us through some of the measures that you have put in place to safeguard the data that you have for customers and for potential clients.
Sure. So, as the Minister for Data Protection was here at our event today, the continent of Africa is very serious about data sovereignty and data protection. We as a company pride ourselves in taking care of our clients' data, but remember, a data center operator like ADC, we don't necessarily house any data for them. It's all of our customers' data, so our large customers, they own their computers, their storage, and their compute cycles. We just provide the environment for them to stay in.
All right, thank you so much, Tesh, for speaking to KTN. And of course, we will be looking forward to more projects that will be coming up. And maybe at a later date, we'll be talking the revenues that are coming in. And of course, no, that's all the time we have from this end. We will be giving you a breakdown of what this 15 megawatts IT load actually means to the Kenyan consumer. But for now, back to you.